Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with some more Digimon ReArise, and today I want to talk about show you summon on the Susanoomon banner. However, I'm doing things a little bit different today. I know I normally do like look at in game and just talk about the like featured Digimon and look at what's in the banner, but today I kind of want to talk about the Digimons that we have are kind of coming and that are comparable to what we're getting right now, because there's going to be a lot of good Digimon coming. And the thing is, we're not gonna have that many gems for all of them, so we might want to prioritize what we want to summon for. So Sunamon is its own, on a class of its own, as in it increases damage when their statuses. It's really good because if it manages to hit off crit on 3 enemies, it's gonna do a lot of damage. And what's his name? But it doesn't have any defenses besides its own 1800 defense, which is not that defensive, to be honest. With plugins, I guess it goes a little bit. With its own plugins, it'll go to about 22, 21, yeah, around there maybe. But it's not that defensive, to be honest. So something that hits it equally as strong could knock it out. I know there's your crit protection, but with Susanoomon, you need someone who dispels, someone who gives statuses, and him, and then top of that you need something with crit, and you want something else that's going to do more damage. Preferably an Imperialmon's going to be in your team. However, this guy's power, so they don't blend well, so you might not use him in your team. You might use something like Omegamon, but Omegamon's getting outclassed. So there's a lot of things to think about if you want to make a team around Susanoomon. But he's alright. I wouldn't say that go for him. I think if you summon for Lucemon, I think, unless he's one of your favorites and you got gems to spare, that's on you. That's your own personal choice of whether to summon. However, I do think Lucemon's a little bit better Digimon. And we'll talk about it right now. Let's talk about other Digimons. Dispellers that are coming, like this guy. There's huge talk because it was in the data mine for this upcoming event for this month. That there's this guy that's gonna get a boost, so everybody's like going crazy because it's a 5-turn dispeller. It's tanky. It's like a super tanky boy. Look at that HP. Look at that defense, right? However, that's the only thing this Digimon has going for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad Digimon. It's a really good Digimon. It has def, so it can increase your speed. It can give ailments, so this goes perfect with Susanoomon. Because 4 enemies reduces buffs for 5 turns. Nothing's gonna like survive that, and it also gives a chance of darkening. Dark. What is it called? I'm just gonna call it. I forgot. Blind, and then it's called blind. So there's that. It could also really help out initially giving them blind, which powers up your Susanoomon, and then your Susanoomon attacks. So it's a perfect combo with it. Really perfect combo. However, its thing doesn't really do much besides being selfish. It's sub. Also, I apologize about if you guys hear mouse clickings. I'm using my computer to like do this one, so I'll try my best not to make too much noise with it. But those part of Dispellers. Another Dispeller that might be coming, it's an ultimate. It's once this comes out, whoever has their hands on it, it's most likely gonna be in their team. This guy lowers your opponent's defense by 50%. It also reduces your opponent's tech by 50%, so that's huge, guys. But I did want to mention him here. I'm going to mention him later on again, just because it reduces your enemy's buffs by 3 turns. So this is low-key Chaosmon. Whatever you do, don't summon for Chaosmon. If you decide that 3 turns is enough for you, this guy's also coming. Once he comes, he's definitely going to be in your team. You're definitely going to have him around to use him. He's excellent Digimon. Dispeller lowers your opponent's defenses. However, it's an ultimate, so its defense kind of suck. Its HP is not that great. That would be its downfall. However, it's a crazy like good Digimon. Even now in JP, for how long it's been, like it's a really good Digimon right now. Still fragile, but like doesn't matter when you're like kind of knocking down your opponent. And the thing with that is, let's check other Digimon that might be coming. This Omegamon, the purple one. It reduces 2 enemies, and that's the thing you have to be careful too. This is all enemies. This is 2 enemies. It reduces their buffs by 3 turns. 2 enemies, not so bad. However, this guy is probably going to be in your team. People are really going to summon for it. It has effect to reduce its skill cooldown by 50%. So it can activate it once again later on. Not the biggest dispeller, but you might heavily start seeing this guy once he drops, because, you know, guys, he's an Omegamon. A lot of people summon for Omegamon. A lot of people are going to want Omegamon. So there's that. I just felt like I needed to mention that. Not your biggest, like, oh, I'm going to use him for dispelling, though. I don't think so. It wouldn't depend on his dispel. However, it will come in clutch, I guess, later in the match, maybe? I don't know. But there's this other guy. Disable statuses for all allies. It lowers your opponent's power resistance. This is definitely going to be in a Brave team. Maybe like Brave meta is going to come back for a bit. To an enemy, dispels. Single to an enemy, it removes buffs for 3 turns. And its sub also removes for 3 turns. So the point where I'm getting at is that there's going to be a lot of Digimons having these kind of abilities. Some are going to be better. Obviously, where is this guy? Not this guy. This guy's going to be like super best because it's like 5 turns, guys. It's going to almost guarantee takes away anything. But there's going to be other methods of dispelling. There's also this one. It increases all your allies' tech by 50%. It increases your critical by 50%. You might, when this drops, a lot of people might summon on it just to like do massive damage. It's the same as like lowering your opponent's defense, but instead you're increasing your damage. And tech is really relevant. It's always going to be really relevant. It's only not relevant when power meta is around, but even then tech will always be around. So this one lowers your opponent's buffs by 3 turns, 3 enemies, and lowers their defense by 40%. So when this guy comes around, this girl, a lot of you guys will be prone to summoning. So I just kind of want to mention other Digimons that are going to come that are similar to this guy. I know it's supposed to be like in the Susanoomon banner, but I kind of want to talk about, you know, other upcoming Digimon just to kind of like, you know, give you good measure of like what do you want to summon on. Other dispellers, this one, 2 enemies, removes for 5 turns. Yeah, not so big deal, but 2 enemies, just mentioned it out there. Then this guy is a big boss. If you have this guy, by the time Beelzebub, and you know, we don't know the rate of like global what's going on. Like they keep giving us like Digimons back to back. So who knows if we're gonna get Blaze mode. What is it called? It is Blaze mode, right? BM. I forgot what BM stands for. I just can't think right now. But the point is, it's gonna be a really strong attack. Like everybody's gonna max out this guy. They're probably gonna limit break. Not only that, it's sub. It lowers by like 5 turns. It's gonna do the same thing. Not only that, it also gives blind, disable status for itself, and DOTs. Excellent for clash battle and like a new game mode that's gonna come out. The thing is, he will replace that guy, and I don't know how far it's gonna be off, so I can't say don't summon on it. Because this guy's gonna come out. It's gonna be a personal choice, honestly, because it's a really hard one, whether you skip or not. Because I'll talk about it right now. Because 5 turns is not really a big deal. It is like, because at crit right now it's like blocks for 2%, and that's for 2 turns, and that's what you kind of mostly want it for, to get rid of all the crit and all the status protection. Status protection only usually lasts 2 turns. However, when we're gonna be talking about the next thing is crit. This guy. A lot of people want to skip. It gives crit protection for 2 turns. Don't skip. Whatever you do, any banner that's going on right now, summon for Creepymon, because the only other Digimon that's really going to do a good job until a very long time. Right now, JP barely is getting another thing. It's going to be this guy. It's going to be a long time, and this guy's guaranteed. You don't want to wait until he's in another banner where he's not guaranteed, because you realize, man, I really need that crit protection. And not only that, it gives you status protection. 1 turn. 1 turn's enough for your opponent needing to dispel or whatever. However, it doesn't matter. If they're gonna dispel the 2 turns, they're gonna dispel 1 turn. So at least it gives you the initial protection of statuses of like the basic status is not blind or skill lock. So he's gonna be excellent Digimon for a long time. And if you don't get this Digimon, it's gonna be like a must. Not only that, if you're worried that, well, I don't want to summon for Creepymon because there's gonna be 3-turn Dispel, and there's gonna be 5-turn Dispel with apocalymon, or what I think that's his name. The problem with that is, check out this guy. He gives you crit protection, right? Adds crit protection for 5 turns. So even when the next Digimon that can give you crit protection comes around and is good, it's gonna be already countered. It's already countered. The next Digimon that's coming is gonna be 5-turn Dispel. It's already countered. So Creepymon is a really good Digimon. Like, there's gonna no amounts of crit protection that's gonna be, not countered. Like I said, not until right now, JP. And by the time we get that character, that's gonna have it's gonna be like 7-turn crit protection, I think. It's already late. It's gonna be a lot of things going on. You're gonna be missing out on a lot of gems. You're gonna be struggling a lot in PvP. So I highly recommend summoning this guy when he's guaranteed, because if you wait, you say, I'm gonna just summon for this Omegamon when it comes out, there's no guarantee in it. This guy's guaranteed. We don't know what Global's gonna do with this guy. Who knows? He could release this guy super late, super early. We don't know. And I wouldn't take a chances with that when this guy could help you right now. 570 gems. That's the way to go, in my opinion. I think the banner's still there. I think I saw it. It is there, I think. Let me double check. Alright guys, I checked, and yeah, Creepymon's gonna be there for 5 days as I'm creating this video, and I'm gonna upload it today. And the thing with that is that once it goes away, like I said, nothing's guaranteed. And I know Lucemon is around, that lowers your defense by 40%, but I rather take no crit and just take 40% less, because I'm gonna take more damage, because Lucemon, my opponents are gonna have it, right? The thing with that is, at least I'm not going to take a crit. It's not going to 100% chance to knock me out. And on top of that, if you have your own Lucemon, it doesn't have no natural protection. There's no huge defensive Digimon. So you're going to need that crit protection so your Lucemon doesn't get one-shotted. So your Susanoomon doesn't get one-shotted if you're trying to use Susanoomon. So this guy is a must, guys. 5 days left. You summon on this one before you summon on Lucemon or anything else, or use your gems for anything else. You're thinking about buying the pack, don't buy it. The pack for Lucemon or Susano. Try to get this one. Do Clash, but wherever you can get gems to summon for this guy. Trust, guys, because this guy, like I said, by the time he comes out, he's already countered technically. He's gonna be a lot stronger Digimon. Look at that defense. Look at that HP. Look at that power. Obviously, outclasses this guy by a milestone, but there's no guarantee you're gonna get him. And while you don't have him, this guy's gonna offer you that little protection you need if you're struggling. And it might be a struggle, guys, but once this guy comes out, if you guys summon again, you're gonna put yourself in a lot better place, because this is a tanky boy. So not only does it protect all your other Digimons, it's tanking itself, so that's pretty good. And it gives you counter rate, but that's not a big deal. It also has the Omegamon abilities, the up to 5 times suppressing damage by 1,000. So it's gonna have 5 limits to get away. So this guy's gonna survive for a while. Definitely summon for this one, even if you get him. That's gonna be the thing. Like I said, I know I was gonna talk about Susano and Lucemon, but I feel like all these Digimons are relevant because this guy's banner is here, and if I'm going to talk about summoning on Susanoomon banner, I'm going to be like, no, redirect to summon on that first before you hit Susano. And if you're going to hit Susano, let's talk about defenses first too, just because we are getting it's going to be the counter to Lucemon to increase your defense. It's going to be a thing to do, so you could tank more even against those people who don't have Lucemon. This guy might come out. He's an ultimate, 40% to all your power resistance, tech resistance. That's if you can't get yourself some defense. There's that. There's this guy who's coming out, increased by 40%, increase your block rate. Block rate doesn't really matter, but it increases your resistance based on like your main or sub skill that you use. However, that 40% defense is gonna be that thing that's gonna like help you survive Lucemon a little bit. Good thing it's tenacious, so it could like has a little bit higher stats. Let's see, this guy ultimately is gonna be the guy who's always gonna be in your team later on. It lowers your opponent's tech resistance. It increase your power. It lowers your opponent's power resistance. It basically, depending on your main or sub that you use and on what team you're using, it increases your defense by 50% and lowers your crit by 50%. He's gonna be a must-have when he comes out, and the reason I'm talking about it because he's the pumped-up version of this guy. You might want to consider using this one because it has 40%. However, look at those stats, and then this guy comes out, and look at the stats. Like, the other guy is still tanky, you know? However, this guy lowers your opponent's crit by 50, crit chance by 50%. That could be huge. That could be like, you don't get critted. And that goes back to if you don't have a anti-crit Digimon, or even if your anti-crit gets dispelled, at least you have some kind of crit protection. But definitely a good Digimon to use. Next, Lucemon, another Lucemon that's going to be the DFQ, I think. It increases your... Well, this increases your damage. This is going to increase your damage. I forgot what I was going to mention him somewhere else. I got confused because I got a lot of the tab open, guys. But he's going to come out. He's going to increase damage. Then there's this guy. Again, remember how I mentioned him earlier because he's a dispeller. To awe, and that's another thing to consider. Lowers your opponent's defense by 50%. It's a possible replacement for Lucemon later on. And it probably will because it also lowers your opponent's tech resistance. This guy, depending on what team you're kind of building, if you're building a team that's going to knock out or has the ability to dispel all the limits and all that stuff, this guy's gonna be like a beast. Like, this guy's a beast right now in JP. Like, it just increased a lot more because the Rosamon, the purple one, came out, and man, that thing is crazy, I tell you guys. And you know, the guy that we want to talk about, Lucemon, 40% lowers. It's gonna be relevant. If you summon for it and you get Lucemon, it's gonna be relevant for a long time because it protects you from statuses. It lowers your opponent's defenses, so you're gonna do more damage. Not everything blocks skill seal, so there's that good thing with it. If you get this, you're gonna use it for a long time. I still see some teams trying to use it in JP, and yeah, it still technically works. You know, like, lowers your opponent's defense. It's not bad defenses. I wish his plugins gave him more HP though. I'll probably use golds or something else to increase his HP. That's how I kind of want to go about this guy, just to make him more tanky. But yeah, it's pretty good, and it lowers your opponent's tech resistance. If you summon for Lucemon and you get him, you know, you did good. Just be careful how you summon gems. That's why I mentioned all these other Digimons, some ultimates, some megas that might come out that replace these megas. Skullgreymon definitely could replace Lucemon to a certain degree. You know, it's more paper, but it increases your damage just by like existing there in your team. But yeah, go ahead and summon for Susanoomon banner. You get Lucemon, you stop right there. If you haven't summoned for Creepymon, my suggestion is summon for Creepymon. But that's just my opinion. Hope this information was helpful for you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.